Administrator Mills, as you know, I've introduced some legislation for the 7A Express Loan Program to increase the size of the loans as well as the guarantees. I really see this legislation as just one of the important tools we need to give our struggling small businesses. I've talked to many businesses. I've talked to my small banks in my region about this piece of legislation, and they believe it is another tool to get access to our small businesses for that working capital that they need. I introduced this legislation, and many of my colleagues have actually joined me in co-sponsoring this legislation. But as I'm, listening to this, I just want to ask you, the 7A Express Loan Program, do you think that it should be discontinued, or do you think that we can move that forward in a way that we won't see some of the abuses going on that we've seen?
The 7A Express program is an extremely powerful program, particularly in this time when many people have had their lines of credit pulled. And it is, in the last year in the Recovery Act, we did 20,000 loans. So we helped 20,000 businesses for $1.5 billion. We believe that people like this program quite a bit because it allows banks to use their own paperwork. It does have a limit of $350,000. If that limit were higher, the statistics say that the larger loans perform better, so it actually would reduce the risk of the overall pool as well. We feel that all of these oversight issues that are brought up are serious and that need attention across the board, and we're committed to increasing our oversight, not only of the programs raised today, but in all our programs.
Well, just as a follow-up to that, I know that there's also a proposal by the administration to allow the 504 loans to be refinanced. And how does the 504 loan refinancing plan proposed by the administration support our small businesses in the current economic climate?
We have analyzed in the small business jobs package proposed by the President all of the gaps. One of them is in refinancing owner-occupied real estate. We know that there are enormous numbers of small businesses, a dentist who owns the dentist office or a manufacturer owns the warehouse, who has taken a mortgage that will become due, a bullet mortgage that perhaps had a 5-year life, and that was done in 2005, 2006. There are a large number of them coming due in 2010, 2011, 2012. We have proposed using the 504 program in a non-delegated manner, so it would not go to the lenders that the Inspector General reviewed for delegated authority. We would review all of these loans. And we believe that we would only take loans that were in good standing and for refinancing, and that the risk in this matter has been assessed and modeled as lower than the current 504 risk pool, because that's for an expansion. And when you have an expansion, you don't actually know what the next year's cash flow coverage will be, because you're growing, you're expanding. So we are looking to meet this market gap, and we believe that this is a lower risk way of reaching probably 7 to 10 billion who will really potentially be out of business if they can't refinance these bullet mortgages.
Thank you. Ms. Gustafson, can I just ask you about the 7A Express Loan Program, and particularly with my legislation that I brought forward, do you see any issues with that program?
Well, in the interest of full disclosure, we haven't done an audit very recently. I've been there not very long in SBA Express, so I don't want to go too far out on a limb, except to say that any time, one of the things that SBA Express does, again, when you have delegated authority, there is always an increased risk due to that, which isn't to say that it would necessarily mean that your legislation, would not be a good idea. I don't feel like I don't have anything to say that. Again, it's just all of these programs with delegated authority always give auditors a little bit of pause, just because there is kind of a risk when you're kind of having the lenders do some of this process. But it's not a question of being unmanageable. Again, the key is that SBA is doing effective oversight on the programs that are administered. And with that, if that's in place and with that commitment from the SBA, there's no reason to think that it would be unwise.
Thank you. I know my businesses are very interested in this. It's a crucial time to get this type of legislation passed. So thank you very much. My time is up.
Time is expired.